Now, a long time ago, when the sky was purple and clouds were pink, there lived a king and a queen who were very, very keen to have a baby. And the fairies that lived in the palace heard that they wanted a baby and flew off to see a wise person called Arif to ask for Arif's help. Now, Arif gave them a special magic apple and instructions for the queen to eat all of the apple, and in no time at all, she would have a baby. But while the Queen was eating the apple, she remembered a program she'd been watching on her laptop and dropped the apple half eaten to run off to watch her favourite show. Now, a little while later, the Queen had a baby, but the baby was just half a baby, with half a body, one leg, one arm, half a head, with one ear, one eye, one eyebrow, half a nose, and half a mouth. And because the baby was half a baby, they decided to call the baby Neem, which in the language of that country means half. Now, Neem soon grew up and learned to hop around on one leg, but to get around more quickly, learned how to ride horses and became the best horse rider in the land. But when Neem reached a certain age, he went to his parents and said, I'm tired of being half a boy and I want to be a whole boy. How can I be a whole boy? Now, nobody in the palace knew, but the fairies got to hear of this, and they flew off to ask Arif for his help. And he explained that because the queen had eaten only half the apple, Neem was a half boy, and that because the apple was now rotten, there was no way of undoing it. Except, Arif said, unless Neem could travel to a dragon's cave, where at the back of the cave was a special marvelous medicine that would make Neem whole. Now, as soon as Neem heard this from the fairies, he jumped on his horse and rode off in the direction of the dragon's cave. And he knew that he was getting closer, because as he travelled on and on, he could see that the earth was burnt black from the fire of the dragon's breath. The trees were burnt to a crisp, and there were people running in the opposite direction, saying, Turn back, there is a scary dragon breathing fire over everybody if you keep going that way. But Neem was very brave and determined to become a whole boy, and so he continued heading towards the dragon's cave. And when he got there, the dragon came out, hearing the sound of the horse hooves of Neem's horse, and demanded to know, What is it that you want? Neem said, I want the special marvelous medicine that's hidden in your cave and will make me whole again. And furthermore, I want you to stop breathing fire all over the people and all over the land too. But I have to breathe fire in order to cook my food, said the dragon. Neem thought for a moment and said, Well, how about if I have an oven brought to cook your food? Then you could stop breathing fire over people. In exchange, you can give me the special marvelous medicine that's hidden in the back of your cave. The dragon thought for a moment and said, Well, that sounds like a good idea, but sometimes I get stressed and angry and worried, and then I breathe fire over people anyway. It was Neem's turn to think. And then he said to the dragon, How about I teach you a special way of breathing, a special kind of dragon breathing that will help you to feel calm when you're stressed or anxious, worried, or angry? And the dragon agreed that this was a good idea. And so Neem told the dragon to place one hand on his tummy and then to breathe into a count of seven. In 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out to a count of 11. Out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, in no time at all, the dragon felt much calmer and happier and agreed not to breathe fire over people ever again. And Neem explained that this special technique of dragon breathing worked just so long as you made the out breath longer than the short breath and you practiced it as often as you could. Now, when the oven arrived and the dragon was feeling calmer, Neem was able to go into the cave and get the special marvelous medicine. And when he took the cork from the bottle and drank its contents, there was a puff of smoke and sparks of rainbow colours. And Neem disappeared, and in his place was a whole boy with two legs and two arms, two eyes with two eyebrows, a mouth and a nose too, and a whole body. And when he rode back to the palace, people were overjoyed to see him. And from that point onwards, they stopped calling him Neem and they called him Kul, which means whole in the language of that country. And also, people learnt the story of the dragon and dragon breathing and learnt that if you breathe in to a count of 7 and out to a count of 11, and you practice it often enough, you can feel calmer and more relaxed when you're stressed or anxious or worried.